This is Savannah, and on social media, her life appears to be perfect. But her reality is completely different.
I feel like I'm constantly putting on a facade, you know? Like, everything's okay. But I'm hurting. Like, I feel like I'm drowning.
And on top of that, she is broke.
Your checking account, you have a balance on Bank of America of $43. You also have business accounts with negative balances of minus 13.
I'm like fed up with being in debt and broke, not having anything. If something were to happen to me tomorrow, my son would have absolutely nothing.
With such unstable finances, Savannah has to act. This video dives into the next steps she can take to get herself back on track. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Finance Action, the show where we take action. My name is Romain and today I'm with Savannah. Savannah, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Romain. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, Savannah. Let's look at your profile. You are 27 years old. You're originally from Texas. You currently live in Los Angeles and you work as an entrepreneur. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Looking at the way you rated your personal finances from chilling to Mayday, Savannah, you rated yourself as yikes. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So what is going on? Briefly walk me through, what's happening right now?
I'm from Texas. I grew up pretty poor.
Okay.
And I had a baby when I was 16 years old.
16 years old.
16
Wow.
years old, yeah. And I moved away at 18 shortly after. I really had no idea what I was doing, but I moved to Los Angeles, and now I'm here just kind of in over my head going, what's next? Like, what do I do? How do I come back to
More
some
stability?
Yeah, maybe come back to just like, I just need to take control over my financial situation.
Okay,
I feel like I've
excellent.
let it go too far.
All right, you've let it go. We'll be discussing about this. But starting from root, so you grew up in Texas. You mentioned kind of a pretty poor family. What was it to live in those conditions?
You know, me and my brother and my sister, we would dig through the couch cushions to find quarters that had fallen out of people's pockets to buy ramen noodles. Like, it was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing, and I felt very like cheated, you know, and like it was unfair.
Okay. And so you grew up through that time. And then at some point at 15 years old, you become pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started having some changes in my body, and I thought this is puberty, right? You know, I thought I was like growing into my woman body, you know, with all the things that come with pregnancy. But turns out I was 5 months pregnant.
When you discovered about it?
When I discovered about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was 5 months pregnant. So I go to my mom first, and I show her the picture of the ultrasound. And she's like, oh, I knew it. And I'm like, if you knew it, why didn't you tell me? You know? I go to my dad. My dad is like my best friend. And he was like, well, what do you want to do? Nobody asked me what I wanted to do prior. Everybody just expected, okay, she's going to have a baby and deal with it, you know? But my dad said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't want to do this, right? But I was at a point where that's the decision I made, is to have my baby. Adoption was not on the table for me. No, if I'm going to carry a child with me, like, I'm gonna be the best mom that I can be, you know.
Okay. So you become a mother at 16.
16 years old, yeah.
You start figuring out life. What's going on there?
Yeah. So I just told myself, like, I knew from a very young age, like I could do anything. I have like big expectations and high hopes and dreams for myself. So I knew this is something that is like such a beautiful thing, right? And even in my circumstance, such a tough situation, I still said, I can do this. Like, I just got to figure out how now.
Okay, and so over that time, then you kind of get small jobs left and right.
So I had like a couple jobs at like a diner for like a couple months, and then I had a job at a hotel, the front desk at a hotel for a couple of months, and everything was just so unfulfilling, and it felt like this is like a lot of work and a lot of strain, especially being a teen mom, right? For a little bit of nothing, and still not feeling good about what I'm doing, just not having this fulfillment, right? So I decided I want to move to LA. If you've ever been to LA or lived in LA, you know that the dating scene's not so great. So I met the wrong guy, right? Which seems to be kind of a pattern for me.
What happens with this specific person?
So this guy, he basically like... he made me believe that he was this like very rich, like established man, and turns out everything he said was a lie, you know.
Like a con artist.
Like very much so a con artist. I mean,
how would you see that kind of? How long were you with this person too?
So I was with him for like 2.5 years.
Okay.
And at the time until the end of this 2.5 years, I did not see this.
So
right?
What would he do?
I guess the main kicker was that one day, like we were living at our apartment in Beverly Hills, and he goes, "Hey, Savannah, we have to move." I said, "What do you mean we have to move? I have my son with me. He's going to school here. You know, what do you mean we have to move? Why? I can't pay rent here. Why can you not pay rent here? I thought you were this well-established, you know, person in fashion and arts and marketing and all these things. Like, how can you not pay rent?" And that's kind of where everything unfolded, and I started putting 2 and 2 together and going, "Oh, okay, I get it. You're not really, you know, you're going and putting work, you know, telling people, let's get a contract going. I'll do your marketing and developing of whatever your company is. And then you pay me." And then he wasn't actually doing the work on the other end. So just basically running off. And that caught up to him.
And then you were expecting kind of to live off him at the time?
No, I wasn't expecting to live off him. He worked in fashion, doing like LA Fashion Week. And I think maybe that was the catch, right? Is like he had this thing that I was like, okay, this is an open door. This is something maybe that could create opportunity for me. And I mean, being that it was all a lie, none of it ever really happened due to him. But I finally said, listen, I realized that I need to work my way out of this situation because if I have my child with me, right? It's not just going to be like up and go, right? So I said, okay, now I need to buy a car. That's the first thing I need to do to get out of this situation. This situation it's horrible, right? So I saved up. I bought a car, cash, which I was like really proud of myself for that. Nice car, Mercedes, like 2000. I think it was. Like
How much did you pay for that?
I paid $8,000 for the cash. It's pretty impressive, right?
That's a pretty good deal. I mean, depends. Mercedes. I'm not a fan for used cars. Okay.
Anyway, I bought it through an auction, right? So the guy who set up the deal for me, because you have to have like an auctioneer's license to buy at one of these places.
They can control whatever they want on the back end in the registration.
Yeah, they're the one who gets the title to your car, right?
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Okay.
So I have my car. I move out, right? I find a place. I have a friend that loans me money to pay for the deposit on a place, like a very, very temporary. It was like a 3-month situation. And then I come out after working 14 hours and my car is gone. Nowhere to be found. So in turn, this guy had come and like, you know, the guy that had the title of my car came and like stole my car from me. So now I have no car. My lease is almost up at this temporary place. And I'm like, okay, like, what am I going to do? I start like back into the event kind of situation, working more events, working poker games, things like this. Back to kind of what I know.
Square zero, yeah.
Yeah. So I met my fiance now.
Okay,
along the way. And obviously I'm like a catch to say the least. So he's like, you know, I want you, why are you living in this apartment and I'm living here at the house? You're always at my house. Just move in with me. So I move in.
Nice.
Right? Me and my son, Genesis. Shout out Genesis.
So who is this guy now?
So this guy's he owns nightclubs and restaurants and things in Los Angeles.
He owns nightclubs, so he must be in a pretty good financial spot.
So you would think so, right? Owning clubs in Los Angeles, but actually not so much.
Okay.
Not so much. Is very famous around the world, like for what he does, but he's the type that would rather be famous and well known than rich, right?
Okay.
Not very good with money. Like doesn't like.
How old is he?
He's 47.
Okay.
So like exactly 20 years older than me.
What do you think about that?
I think that he should have his shit together more than he does to take care of me.
And you guys are engaged, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting there, but so am I, hence why I'm here, Romain.
Okay, that's fair. So you guys are engaged, soon potentially thinking about a wedding?
Yes. So
But with what money, Savannah?
Yeah.
And how much are you guys budgeting for that?
So he thinks it's probably, he's like, he looks at me, this is still an ongoing thing. He goes, so what, do we need like $30,000-$40,000? And I go, no, we need like $80,000 or $90,000.
$90,000?
Something like that. They say, Romain, you only get married one time. I'm only going to get married one time. It has to be the most special experience of my life outside of having my child.
But it doesn't have to cost $90,000, especially in the United States, huh?
It doesn't have to. Listen, I think he'll be able to pull it off or probably under that. I mean...
Okay. When are you guys expecting to get married?
October 2025.
So in a little bit more than a year?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a priority right now, given the guys' financial situation. We'll be discussing on this.
No, it seems almost impossible, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so...
A bit far-fetched.
You are getting married to a person that is in a pretty tough financial spot. You have a son. You're yourself in a pretty tough financial situation. We need to kind of see where does that brings us all together. Because today, how do you feel today?
So today, Romain, I feel like I'm constantly putting on a facade.
Okay.
You know, like everything's okay, but I'm hurting. Like I feel like I'm drowning. You know.
Okay.
And especially living in LA, there's a lot to live up to, right? People see on the outside, oh, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's funny, like has all of these things, like, and it looks like I do a really good job at keeping my like making it look like everything is just fantastic and like I've got it all figured out and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, great. Well, don't worry. That's why you're here on the show with me, Savannah. We're going to get you back on track. You know, 93% of people that sit on that chair get it back together. You're just going to have to follow with me and I got you back, okay? So let's start together and move to our next segment, which looks at your income and your assets. All right, Savannah. So as an income and here looking at your statement, you note yourself as an entrepreneur. You have different sources of income. One is driven by your company that you've stood up on your own, which is a luxury event company that gathers, to the market in Los Angeles,
right.
Where you're showcasing about $3,000 or so of income per month. But you also have another business that helps to pay the bill today. That it's a little bit more of we could say a little bit more exclusive business. I hope you guys can read between the lines.
That's exactly what it is.
And for that exclusive membership type of business, you charge and you earn about $3,500 or so per month. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so together, net per month, you average from your recent statements about $6,500. Mm-hmm. Do we feel that this is accurate?
Yeah, this is definitely accurate.
Okay.
This is accurate. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, I mean,
It
you're spending
definitely
on
doesn't feel like that. When you say it, like when you bring the numbers out, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I spending
your money
this on?
on.
Where
I
is
know,
it going?
I know. 'Cause
Romain, where's it going?
I know, and I'm going to tell you. When we look at your total income for the year, you're bringing about $110,000 per year.
That's pretty impressive.
That's right. When compared against the median in the United States, 50% make more, 50% make less. For the age bracket between 25 and 34, which you're within, it's at $50,700. So you're bringing more than twice,
Yeah.
what the median in the United States brings. But again, you're living in Los Angeles and looking at your spending, we can definitely work on that together.
Yeah.
As we transition into your statements, you're coming here with difficult assets. Here I'm looking at your checking account. You have a balance on Bank of America of $43.
Yeah.
You also have business accounts with negative balances of -13, -19. But
no,
that's
so sad.
not just it. You also have a saving account with 304. Okay. And a PayPal account with 1,264. Finally, you also have an investment account with $45. That is everything that I'm recording here from what I'm seeing.
Right.
Do you have any other assets?
I don't.
Any cars?
I don't have any cars.
Not anymore?
No, not anymore.
So you lost that Mercedes pretty much.
Yes, the Mercedes is stolen, and then I had.
And you couldn't get to it?
Well, I didn't. I didn't have insurance, which is kind of same thing that happened on my last car before that. I bought a brand new car, a Hyundai Genesis, and when I was living in Houston, we had a Hurricane Harvey, completely washed my car away. Almost.
And you had no insurance?
I had just let my insurance lapse. So I'm kind of an advocate for like waiting till the last like possible minute to pay the bill. If
And
not,
then it hits.
yeah, and then it hits and you have no car and like $13,000 gone down the drain.
Okay. All right. That's why, guys, insurance is one of the biggest threats to the wealth of Americans, because a story can flip on you. And if you're not insured or covered, we've seen many times on that show that can be the case. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see now. Together, that brings your current total assets, no retirement funds.
No retirement.
How come?
To be honest with you, I don't think that I've been educated enough on it. I don't really know much about like how to even do that.
Okay.
Like what that looks like, what's the best way to do it, I have no idea how it all works.
Okay. And are you expecting any form of money, maybe like a parent, like a sibling, any money that's coming in soon or no?
Yes. So I haven't done my taxes in about 3 years. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How come?
I'm unorganized. I'm unorganized. I have finances here and there, and like I wouldn't even know where to start if say I go to someone to help me, like an accountant with my taxes, I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I do know from several of my past. Actually, I've only filed taxes twice. Ever.
At 27 years old, yeah, that's rough, okay?
Yeah, that's rough. And one time was a non-filers, but I did it, and I got a pretty handsome return on it.
But have you been paid with W-2s?
No.
So W-2s is where it's a forcing mechanism that forces you to put money on the side for taxes. But if you've been paid with 1099s, or what you refer to as W-9s.
W-9, yeah.
Taxes is not withdrawn from it.
Yeah, I know.
So taxes falls on you.
Oh.
So I wouldn't expect much tax return.
No? But for the 2 years prior,
you were on W-2?
Yeah, I was on W-2. Now that I have my business, I have people turning in W-9s to me.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So taxation falls on you as a business owner because it's not acquired at the source.
Right.
But if you want W2, then potentially we could see about that. Okay, I'm not going to account for this. I'm just going to account for a break even. Hopefully for you, we'll have to think about this and we think about your recommendations.
Right.
But together, that currently brings your total assets at 27 years old with a son of 11 years old at 1,624. Okay. But you're making bank, my dear friends. You're making bank. So let's see as we transition to our next segment, which looks at your expenses and your debt. I'd like to start this with a pretty mild expense. How much do you pay for rent in Los Angeles?
I don't pay for rent.
Who does?
My fiance pays rent. We live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom
with your son too?
With a guest house. My son's currently living with his father in Louisiana.
Okay.
So he comes back in August.
Nice.
Yeah, so the rent is $6,000 a month. Yeah, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
The rent is $6,000.
The rent is $6,000 a month, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right? I know.
You guys are living in luxury or something?
It's a 1942 Craftsman, like, in West Hollywood. We have an amazing backyard, but it's not, I just don't see $6,000 there at all. It's Los Angeles.
$300 on your account and you're paying $6,000 per month. Okay.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I mean, all right. So 0 for rent, at least it doesn't fall on you. Let's think about this. Does your partner know your guys' financial situation of one another? Do you guys speak?
No, not really.
But you're about to get married.
No, I don't really. I think we keep things separate. I think he thinks that I'm just living this like plush life with like no bills or like no responsibilities, but in actuality I have a lot that falls back on my shoulders financially, right?
And you guys don't speak about finances?
No.
Why not? Because I mean, marriage is for life, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is for life, and I don't know. I guess that I just don't want to bother him with my situation. Like this is all Romain. This is all kind of stuff that has domino affected from my past, right? And so, yes, I tell him briefly about things, but like never in detail. He doesn't know like half of the things that I've told you.
Okay, and he's not inquiring about it neither.
No.
Do you inquire about him?
He actually tells me a lot about his financial situation. Like, I know a lot about his financial situation.
Is he able to pay the rent?
He's able to pay the rent.
Because you have to pull those 6,000, huh?
He's able to pay the rent and a little more than that. So the company he was working for basically just shut down several of his clubs, and they're now, they just pulled out. I mean, hundreds of people lost their jobs, and he's one of them. And so he's...
Does he have any savings?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, yeah, we don't talk about money. I think...
We're going to have to tackle that,
yeah,
Savannah.
Yeah.
Especially if this is the guy. Yeah. You guys are going to have to tackle that. We'll be speaking about this in the recommendation section as to how could you bring that in a way that feels, positive, but we have to raise those subjects.
Yeah,
I had a person here sitting in this chair, got married, and 1 week after getting married, she realized that her partner had $200,000 of debt.
Wow.
And if the partner had not been fair, the debt could have fallen on the couple.
Wow.
So while you don't have a crazy amount of debt, your situation is far from being, really great. But we don't know about this guy. He could be pulling tons of thousands of dollars of credit cards, and you don't want it to fall on you if something was to arise.
No, not at all.
So we're gonna have to bring those subjects. Okay,
right.
Let's think about how we bring this strategically as we think about your recommendations. As I transition to some of the rest of your expenses, for your car, you don't have a car.
I don't have a car. No.
But my dear friend, if I look at your statements, you're the Uber queen.
I am. I spend most of my money on Uber and food.
Because I'm looking, where do you spend your money? You're making $6,000, but you have $40 on your checking account. Look, I only looked at 15 days. You've spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 20 plus Ubers, ranging from $10 to an astonishing $59 on Uber. Together, that brings, just looking at a couple days here, your recent expenses on Uber at $753.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God. What?
And that's Uber.
750?
53.
Wow. That's embarrassing.
You could literally afford if you put a good down payment, a Porsche with this.
Yes.
I mean, I'm being, a little bit heavy, but that's a really nice car that you're putting up something. You know how to drive.
Yeah, wow.
And if that was only it, my dear friend, you're also spending a lot of money.
It's crazy.
With delivery, what are you doing, Savannah?
That's crazy.
What are you doing? 27, 18, 13, 18, 14, hundreds of dollars on Smart, Uber Eats, and so on. What's going on? What's going on?
Well, I think it's mostly like the lifestyle that I live.
Lifestyle inflation.
Obviously, that's not the plan, is to spend all my money on Ubers and food, but that's kind of what happens. And I'll tell you this, I kind of went through a little bit of a depression for a while.
Okay.
And my life was kind of just like for a couple months, just no work and just like going out to party, going out with my friends and ordering in. And that, I guess that's what comes with my depression, is spending lots of money on things that I don't really need.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love, but I have to bring this to your eyes, okay? You're spending on Uber. You're spending on delivery. You're spending a crazy amount also, as you mentioned, on going out, my dear friend.
Going out,
And you've had it, tough in a way, young mother and so on. Today, we can't find yourself in this mindset, right? Like, your son is 11 years old and you have $1,000 in front of you and you're spending money on like Forever Pizzeria, Forever 21 Zara, Burbank. I mean, just today, you took a flight to come here, but you spent $40 at the airport. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's like I'm just so used to making like money so easily that like it kind of just, I kind of expect for it to just replenish. Yeah.
Replenish. But what's happening, Savannah, is that you're living in what many Americans, and I don't want to put the blame on you. I mean, in a way, you're the one making those decisions. But what you are is part of a system, okay? You're in a system which caps most of the middle class in this country. Well, it's consumerism. They get you on the hook. And you have all those products that are available to you, and you're consuming. And because of that wrong mindset, today you're so young at 27, you still have so much ahead in front of you, but you are currently burning through some of the greatest years of your life when it comes to a finance perspective, okay? Because what you will find, as we discuss in the recommendation, is the biggest asset, the biggest key, the number one key when it comes to financial stability is time and consistency. And starting as early as possible with the right set and the right mindset is pretty much setting you up for success. Because today, thanks God, nothing is happening. I'm touching wood. But my dear friend, it's not with $1,000 on the side. If an accident arises, your son is out of the picture. Your husband, your fiancé, as far as I know, and as far as you describe, it's tangent financially. You guys are playing of a very fine line. And for me, seeing those expenses right here is an alarm.
Yeah.
It's not what I should be seeing today.
Yeah.
Okay? Our discussion today needs to come as an intervention because you're falling behind the train. And not only that, is that as I look into your credit score too, today you have a credit score of 457, driven by a bunch of collections. So you have to tell me kind of what's going on that front here. I see thousands of dollars, one of 1,940, one 1,688, one 423. What's going on with all of those collections, Savannah?
So remember the not so Mr. Right that I was telling you about before? He
the guy that you met in Los Angeles?
Yeah, the Los Angeles guy. So I'm pretty sure when things started to go downhill for him, he kind of was scrambling for somewhere to live, right? Or if you remember, I told you, he said we have to move, and I left, but he went and put my name fraudulently on a bunch.
You used your social security?
Yeah, I used my, he had access to all my files and everything.
Gosh.
And on several different apartments, and never followed through with it. So it all kind of fell back on me.
But did you had any form of alarm or anything that raised, or you had no idea for a while?
I didn't know for a while until it had already gone to collections, and then they're calling me going.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on Aura. So, shameless plug. I don't care. I freaking love those guys. I am tired of having so many people sitting on that chair, coming because they have fraudulent activity on their credit score. And I'm sure it's not everything, but Aura is pretty much a system that I'm going to send you up on. Okay, there is a little bit of a cost, but it monitors your credit. It monitors your credit score. If you have any asshole that comes and starts to pretty much pick up on you, or starts to use your social security for fraudulent activity, they notice you and they kind of work on your behalf. And I think anyone that's watching, I don't care, even if you don't use any of the codes that I promote, have a look at it, because this could be a lifesaver for many. If you had this in place, you wouldn't be falling on thousands of dollars of freaking collections.
Absolutely.
So I will be helping you out on that front. But that's one of the collections. What happens for some of the others?
So there's a student loan on there for the cosmetology school that I never finished. I think it's like around $3,000.
Not too bad. Is it federal?
Yeah.
Have you been paying anything?
No.
Okay.
I didn't realize student loans stay on forever.
Yep. You can't even
I was just waiting for the 7 years.
Done.
The 7 years for it to kind of go away.
Collection 7 years.
I'm like we've already come this far. Might as well just let it fall off.
It's gonna die with you. Especially it's federal. You can even if you file for bankruptcy, you can't take out federal student loans. So it's gonna be a forever debt. But it's only $3,000, my dear friend.
Yeah.
You're making $6,500.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. And then let's see what else is on there. I think I have
IC system 423.
Several of them I have no idea what they are. So maybe this Aura that you're talking about.
Do you have any credit cards at some point?
I had someone open a Exxon Mobil card in my name, which is another X kind of situation.
Another guy?
Yeah, it was a roommate, but a guy that he stole my information.
Everybody that you meet is kind of scamming you. What's going on, Savannah?
I mean, I know how to pickle him, Romain. That's just me, Oh.
All right. Hopefully this guy is actually better.
When you say it out loud, it sounds a lot worse.
All right. So together, if I sum your total amount of debt today, it's not alarming. It's not great. 7,051. Okay.
That's 1 month.
So we need to get you back, my friend. We need to get you back. As I look into some of the rest of your expenses, again, most of your money, to be honest, is spent on non-necessities, what I call as the kind of shit counter. And when is it going to stop? Do you feel that today you're sitting with me, you feel like you're in the right mindset to change that?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I do. I feel really hopeful. As you said, it took me 6 times to get here. I think maybe because I wasn't, but I'm fed up with being in debt and broke, not having anything to. If something were to happen to me tomorrow, my son would have absolutely nothing. And that's what kind of opened my eyes to go okay, get your shit together. That's scary for my child.
And you're stuck to Dame to then also right now, huh? If something was to arise, you can't fall back on your own. You've lost your independence, my dear friend.
Yeah, I have.
But you can acquire it back, okay? And with everything that I'm seeing here, hundreds of pages. I mean, not hundreds, sorry, tens of pages, but looking at your statements, with only looking at some of the recent ones for the past 2 days, I was scrolling and I kept seeing like tens of transactions in the recent 2 days for little expenses left and right. We can't have that, okay? I'm gonna walk you through a strategy that we're gonna put together that I'm hoping you follow to the letter. And I can almost guarantee you, if you follow it, you're going to be back on track, okay? But first, let's move on to our segment, which looks at the money case. This is going to arise as an intervention.
Okay.
What I'm about to show you is, in full transparency, one of the worst cases that I've seen when it comes to the ratios of what I called as shit expenses, shit counter, unnecessary expense to your living. Because most of your expenses, day-to-day lives, are taken care in a way by your partner with the rent and so on. The phone, it's a friend, etc., etc. You don't have a car, you don't have a pet. Your current your son is taken care by your ex-partner. So a lot of what you're spending on, my dear friend, is the Los Angeles lifestyle that today you cannot afford. And I want to bring it to you in this intervention. If you were to estimate, and I looked at it, I looked at your statement, and I made some math.
Okay.
How much money do you think you spent last month on things that on paper you don't really need, or that you could have found a different way to do it?
I don't know, maybe like $300-$400. $500, $800.
Last month, you brought in $7,500 and you spent $7,600. You spent $7,600. Out of that money, $3,400 was spent on shit that you don't need.
Wow. Wow.
$3,000. This is $2,000. This is $1,000 and $400. Was spent on shit in Los Angeles that you don't need. This is the pizzeria. This is the Postmate. This is the Forever 21, the Zara's, all of those expenses here, the Rock and Field, the nightclubs, etc. It is crazy. It is crazy. And this is what is going to destroy your financial future if we don't take act on it together. So I want you to hold this for a minute and visualize it. This is money that you're just throwing away. Actually, you know what? We're going to make it right. Just stay with me. That's what you're doing.
No.
Throw it to the garbage, my dear friend. That's what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. All of it?
All of it.
All of it? No.
All right. Are you done with this?
That's sad.
Savannah, time to gain
sad.
independence.
That's stupid.
Not with a son. Not anymore. Time to get independence.
Wow.
Let's work on what would I do if I was in your shoes, okay?
Okay.
I need you to pay very close attention to the steps that I'm going to say here.
Okay.
I feel like you're stuck in a financial prison where you're stuck to the finances of a partner, which presents himself at an older age not to be the most stable, in full transparency. And on top of that, you're stuck not only with the responsibility of holding on your own, but you have an 11-year-old son that at some point is going to need a car, that at some point is going to need education, that at some point is going to have needs. Because right now he's been cruising through some of the years where you can take care of him in person, but the system is going to require you to spend money. That's just the way it is. And I want you to feel like you can be able to cater and to be present for him. So if I look at your needs today, it's about $2,100. That's today the amount of money that you need to survive. What does that mean? Is that we have money left over on the side for you to start investing into rebuilding yourself, okay? I need you, as much as you can right now, financially to continue pulling that income because you're making a lot of money, okay? For now, do not touch those collections. Let them rot. We don't need you. I don't need you right now to really touch those collections at this time. What you're going to do is you're going to get a Fizz card, okay? This is a debit card that allows you, instead of using your Chase or your Bank of America, it allows you to make payments, and they report your payments automatically every month to the credit bureaus. This helps you build your credit score without having the risk of having a credit card. I'm going to refer you to that. Link in the description as well for you guys.
What is it called?
Fizz.
Fizz.
Really good product.
Okay.
Okay? I don't want you to take any credit cards right now. Forget about this game. We need to build back the foundations. So, what does that mean? With regards to your wants, I don't want to cut anything of what you do. I don't want to cut your, little going out and so on, because it's not realistic. If today I tell you, hey, you need to cut it to 0, you're going to say, Romain, you, I'm never going to do that. Is that right? That's fair. So I'm going to give you a wants of $300. Okay?
$300 per month.
$300 for your wants. This is your nail. This is your hair. This is your going out. This is your restaurant. We are in a critical situation. And to critical situations, we need critical response. So what does that mean? I know your work as a kind of fluctuates, your salary fluctuates ups and downs, and I look into your statements. The target for you, the number that I need you to put in your mind, Savannah, is $3,000 per month.
Okay.
$3,000 per month, no matter what, I don't know, as long as it's legal and as long as you're safe and everything that you do, I don't want to dive too much into that, but $3,000 per month is the gold number. This is the number that you need to save.
Wow, okay.
Save. What are you going to do with this money? I need you to forget for a moment the Los Angeles lifestyle. You have two options. One, you need to be 100% positive with yourself that your partner is the person that you want to be with. If it is the case, you guys need to meet in person together at a table like this, not joking around and so on, and say, look, I'm about to marry you in a couple of months. I need you to show me exactly what is your financial situation. Because this is a decision that I don't want to, I want to make this work. Again, this is assuming that you want to make this work. This is a decision that I want to do, and I want to be 100% sure that I'm in full knowledge of what's happening. I don't want any surprise. I love you, and I want to be with you, but I also need to make sure, from a financial perspective, that I'm aware of the situation, because I'm going to present to you what my situation is. And today I'm going to give you a summary that highlights what you have. So it's going to be on your side pretty easy, but you need to know what his side is. If this works, you guys are going to work as a team in Los Angeles, but you need to build your own side. You need to build your own aspect. If you want to go work something with a little bit more dependent, right? Read between the lines. In that case, I would build a buffer so that as fast as humanly possible, you can get yourself into a car. Now, you're not going to pull a Mercedes. You're not going to pull a shit car that you're going to buy at auction and get scammed again. You're going to lower your standards for a minute. I need you to forget about I don't want to say that, but kind of the Barbie lifestyle, the Los Angeles girly, etc. No.
Right.
It's game over. For now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have this life. I'm saying for now, for the next year or two, I need you to think about your son, and I need you to put yourself into a position where Savannah can have control of her own life. I need you to get access to at least a little bit of money on your accounts, a couple $1,000s. Then you're going to go on Facebook Marketplace and you're going to buy yourself a car for $6,000 to $7,000. A Japanese car, Mitsubishi, Honda. It's not sexy. I don't care. And what I would do is I would move out of Los Angeles.
Sounds about right.
You need to get out.
Yeah.
Your cost of living in Los Angeles is 42% more expensive than when it would be in Las Vegas. And on top of that, you can leverage, the tipping industry that presents here in Las Vegas. Because, a lot of individuals like yourself are making it great as long as you're safe and making it great. But I don't want you to let yourself being in prison in Los Angeles and then you wake up in a couple years It's different. So what you need to do, if you decide to go in a route of this nature, is no matter what, gain your independence, potentially move to Las Vegas, now that you have a car, build your life here, leveraging the assets that you have going for you, and put in place a financial basic. Emergency fund, okay? 3 to 5 months of needs. For you, I'm targeting $10,000. You're going to open a Roth IRA for your retirement. I'm going to write that to you. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. And you're going to also open potentially a 529 for your son, little by little. Okay?
Bam.
You need to satisfy the basic of a life that is going to allow you at some point to rebuild yourself. Because what's going to happen is by applying this strategy here that I've laid down, I do believe that in a year, you can be in a complete different spot. But you're going to have to be very structured. Forget about delivery. This app should be out of your phone. Forget about the hundreds of dollars of Uber that you're throwing away to the garbage. Today is about Savannah, and it's about Savannah and Genesis. Get out of that prison or work to find yourself to not be a trophy wife for the rest of your life, and get yourself in a way that allows you to build yourself as a strong entrepreneur and independent woman. What do you think?
I think that that's something that I could most definitely do, and something that I've wanted for a long time, and maybe I haven't been quite ready for it. But now, like, seeing everything in front of me, I'm about to be 28 this month. I don't want to wake up when I'm 30 and still have nothing, you know?
Yeah. You're okay. I'm telling you, you are okay as long as you change the mindset that you find yourself within. You are not late. You've played a game potentially from a lack of knowledge and kind of the situation that you find yourself in. Look, I don't know many individuals. At 15 years old, I was a dummy in high school that didn't have an idea of what was going on. And you had to pull and stand up and get old very quick. So you've had the courage to be present for your son, okay? So not everybody can pull something like this, okay? So you've accomplished things in your life today that have not resulted in the finances that we need, but you've accomplished so many other things. I think you have the strength and the courage to bring it back together, but it's going to come up to you and to the right mindset. I'm going to write to paper exactly as I mentioned what you need to do step by step that I has illustrated in overall. I'm going to put it literally step by step. And you're going to be okay. On top of that, I want to let you know that as any person that comes to the show, as long as you're playing the game and you're showcasing to me that you're making the right efforts, my line is always open. Okay?
Thank you.
And what I mean by that is I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to scam you. I have absolutely no financial incentive for you to make it, other than the moral and the passion that I have in me to see people that come here and actually make it. So if you're wanting to do the right thing, I will be here for you. Okay?
Thank you.
If I see that you're throwing away your money like you've been doing here in the statements, you are, my friend, on your own. So it's a chance that you have to be coming here. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
I've seen a lot of success.
Yeah.
So just partake of the game, play it right, and you got this. Now I'm going to follow up with you in a month. I'm going to call you. And in a month, I'm going to ask you, Savannah, what's going on? Do you have $3,000 saved up on the side? And yes or no, because this needs to happen this week, have you discussed with your partner? You need to be 100% positive on how you're going to approach this. On paper, I'm not going to lie to you. We have to look into this. Now, it's where your heart brings you. You 100%, I will always respect that. Just find within yourself, who do you want to be? Okay? So I'm going to ask you that in a month. I'm going to follow up with you. And if I see efforts, we keep going. This is going to take you a little bit of time. But in a year mark, call me again. We'll have some call over that time. And I can lay out to you again how we're going to invest into potentially the stock market. How are we going to invest into retirement? How do you think about your son? How do you think about, the taxes, which I want you to actually look, as I'm going to give you the paperwork, you're going to look with your CPA. And you're going to have the right foundations. Do you shake my hand? That you're going to take action?
I do.
As we wrap up our discussion together, I wanted to give you a gift. What this is, it's a little French coin, actually, around a bracelet. And it symbolizes the interaction that we've had today. And this is something that I've been wearing myself for years, okay? And as you think about kind of the journey that you're about to embark on, I want you to be able to wear that coin and kind of look at your wrist and say, all right, this is what I'm now doing, okay? This is something that you can wear at all time. It's not going to tarnish. It's not going to change. You can wear it under the shower. I've never taken mine off for 3 years, and it's still very resilient.
Thank you so much, Romain.
So this is yours. And you can also, guys, have one of those in the description below to create your own journey. All right. Do you have any final words as we wrap up our discussion together?
Well, I just want to tell you thank you so much.
Of course.
You have no idea how much it means to me, and I feel like this is a really big turning point in my life. I do.
All right. Don't disappoint me in a month, okay,
Yeah.
Savannah? All right, guys. An excellent story. Thank you for walking us through all of this. We encourage you guys to check out some of the resources that I have below for some of the products that I use that I'm also going to recommend to you. We look forward to see your follow-up and to see you guys in another video. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.